everyone, Jewelry Talk. Susan Lenart here with all of the other side to jewelry, about the cultural backgrounds, about the repairs, about the ethnographic studies, about the way pieces are used in dance, in rhythm, in sound, all this kind of things, how we're doing things in all different ways. So that's what my interest is. It's really all about teaching and how to do things, but also about how to wear in layers, what's comfortable, what's gonna hurt you when you're wearing it, how do you connect things beautifully. Hello you guys, nice to see you. Good morning, or good afternoon. We finally have some pretty nice weather here. It's been so hot. We had like a hot stretch in August, and I'm grateful to say, oh my gosh, there's Marlene, nice to see you guys. Nice to see you, good morning. Oh my gosh. So yeah, a couple new pieces I have. I guess I'm just really enjoying wearing all these layers, and I'm just building such an itinerary for this upcoming course and studies that are really on surface work, and just how to do all your surface work. Hi Sherry, nice to see you. Oh my gosh, good morning from San Francisco. You from San Francisco, it's like, oh my gosh, you guys are one of the reasons. I remember when I went to teach out in San Francisco years ago, I had all of these beautiful artists and silversmiths that were telling me, I can't set up in my house. They have these $1 million homes that, oh hi Mary Jo. They had $1 million homes that were small and you couldn't really set up a good silversmithing station. So I was thinking, wow, how do we do this smaller? How do we be a nomad with our jewelry? How do we be a nomad and build all of this work? So how long did it take me to make these pieces? Just curious. Well, you know what? I'm really in an exploratory stage. These are quick for me because I have, the gems, like I probably did these three, these two with this one up here in a day. Not assembling. I have my whole table filled with pieces and parts. When I go in to do my soldering, I kind of get into my left brain and I don't worry about what it's gonna look like in the end, I save that for my silversmithing. Hey, oh yeah, my new course is coming. I'm gonna be filming it in a couple weeks. So I'm just trying to get all the backgrounds and supplies, and once I can teach it here, I'm teaching it in my studio for the first time, then I just gather more information and it makes my workshop flow when I get it on film. So if that makes sense, yeah. So these pieces, I could get a lot of just pieces done and work in the concept. When I walk into my studio and I feel like doing, kind of some left brain, setting stones, when I'm really looking at new stones or excited about stones. There's other times that I walk into my studio, hey, nice to see you, and I'm like, all right, I have a lot of components here. What am I gonna do with them? Well, if I'm making rings, I do them all the way to the end with the gems. But I wanna show you guys I got this new idea that I had seen. It's not my idea, but it actually is for these finer rings that I'm doing. I love doing all different rings with the thick bands, large ones. But, for me, it's like I love wearing multiple bands. So to me, I like matching them up. I'll put a big fat one and then a little skinny one, and same here, two little clusters. And it really kind of brings up the quality of both of them mixing together. So, I just want these on one band. So if you can see, you still can stretch these open. And I have to just file my ends down there. So it's wire that's filed and fit together and hammered out on my Anvil, on a ring mandrel. So for me, I just love the adjustable rings. I'm addicted because with the newer pieces you're creating, are you going to be including tinier gems? Yes. I have a whole collection of tiny gems, and I think I show setting the tinier gems. Okay, if you guys are new in the intentional metalsmithing class, I do everything medium size because the whole intentional metalsmithing course is I'm trying to teach you guys so many things to flow through, and you get the most success with medium, because it's not too small, not too big. Anytime. So when I had my master's class here, you know, one of the things that I talked to everyone was, okay, you guys, now we're going to do big and small this weekend. It was a master's, because small is a little tougher, large is a little tougher. You know, the super large, the super small. These mediums are, you know, are pretty nice to set. They're good, you know, you can do well with them. So yes, I am doing a lot of the small gems, and I love the small gems, so that definitely, I'll have to add that into this course though, so thank you. I'll add in some tiny gem making into this course. I think there is some on my YouTube channel. I do one. I'm putting together tiny ones. So there, yeah, you just have to have some good light and some magnifiers. So I started getting used to those magnifiers. Come on in, guys. So let's see. So that's really what we're talking about there. And it's like I was building all weekend. This is all part of the course. I love doing these in hollow forms, but I also am working on ideas for nice flat surfaces, you know, without the hollow forms, because, hey, you know, there's some people that, you know, adding the hollow forms, I love adding hollow forms onto the work. Oh, hi, nice to see you. I'm so glad you caught alive. Good morning, and it's nice and cool here. So I kind of have a little itinerary that I want to talk about this morning, and I really want to think about, you know, you guys, if you noticed in our Facebook group for Intentional Metalsmithing, we have a lot of new people, and I'm so excited to have the new people in. And not sure if you've said before, but where do I get my magnifiers? I'll show you guys. I have them right here. Oh, here's Connie. Oh, no, not yet. Okay. You can hear it pop in, though. Connie's going to be helping me film in a little bit, but I end up talking too loud. Do you guys know Connie? She does all the shipping. She's one of my best friends. And she ends up helping me out here for shipping. So she's the one that does that. Hi, Joni. Joni's on. Okay, so then my magnifiers are from Craft Optics. And what they do, they're like $600, but they set your glasses, if you need glasses or reading glasses, and then you have your magnifiers where you can see just about everything in here. I work with these all day long. I just tighten them right here on my head, and you know, I have them going. So that's me. I'm always in these. I actually need to get a repair on them, but I don't want to be without them for a couple of seconds. Hey, Christina's on. Nice to see you. Joni says hi, Connie. So with the new people who are in Intentional Metalsmithing, welcome. I see you in our group. Please make sure you post your work. We all love you. We're all about love there, so please post. And I wanted, you know, I know some people, I want to give some studio tips that I do here in my studio that I'm including. You know, some people who are goldsmiths, you might learn one little tip, or just, sometimes it's fun just to see what another person does. I always love seeing another person's workbench, you know what I mean? Or little studio tips that they do. So, yeah, oh my gosh, great to see Diane! Do you guys know Diane Cook? Oh my gosh, Diane, welcome. She is one of the most beautiful jewelry designers. Her work is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I miss you. You know what's been really fun is that some of my peers, where we work together, have been popping down to Jewelry Talk, Diane. So it's nice to see. I had Michael Deming on last week, and I had Ace, who told me she's on from Studio Luna Verda, and oh my gosh, because we miss each other, right guys? Well, it's nice to see you, Diane. Okay, thanks for joining us, and I'm gonna show, just somebody's running out the door. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple of my studio tips. This is my studio. I spend 9/10 of my time in this little area right here. Behind me is my annealing station. This is my bench, my desk. I have a nice annealing pan where I do all my soldering. You know, sometimes I have, you guys know what big work I like to do. So, I wanted to first state off that the first thing that I do wear my jewelry when I'm soldering. My jewelry always makes me feel good and is a talisman to me. So I can wear a lot of it, but I tell you what I don't wear is this, right? Did you guys figure that one out? So this I do not wear. And this piece here I do not wear. So I'm gonna get ready in studio mode. And I was going to save this for the end, but I'm going to show you guys right now anyway. Usually I just try to show. I'm having, as you guys know, I'm having some pieces made because these help me out a lot. This is a wall mount, and it is removable, and this piece is removable. And I'm going to actually be able to include this with the sale that's coming up, because look at how amazing this is going to be. Even the screws on here are beautiful. So you guys are going to see a lot of things like this for me, because I'm decorating my house with all the pieces that I love. So I might as well show that one now. Okay, so let me put this one down here. So anyway, I showed that one because it's easier to do now. So the pieces that I do wear, I could solder in pieces like these. I take off my long ones when I'm doing my work. So I'm going to take off this nice long piece that makes me feel good, you know, that nice length. And this one I probably would take off as well. But I'm going to keep this on. Also, another thing that I do, paintbrush. I have actually done this my whole life. It's ridiculous. You know, you want to get your hair up and out of the way. I've got the curly hair. I try not to put it all up in a bun, but that's the next step. Okay, Christina's talking, guys. So here's me. And this is usually how I look, because I can't normally see, but I do see there's a lot of stray hair, so whatever. Okay, so I want to show you guys today. I'm going to show you a little bit of my cleanup, a couple things. I'm going to show you, it's been really wet this summer here. So I came in and I really have to worry about the rust. What wire do I use in a bezel to give the stone more height? I actually use, I don't like to put my sterling silver under there, so I usually use a silver plated copper. That's a nice one because it stays, this is a fine silver that's coated on the outside of copper, so it never gets oxidized and it doesn't discolor under your work. So you can see I have like a 14 gauge that I do with those real tall ones. I have an 18 gauge with the small ones. So that's some of the stuff I do there. Yeah. So I hope that helps you guys. I use those all the time. You know, it's like I really don't want to put my sterling silver under there because sterling silver oxidizes and fine silver is expensive. So I find that the copper is structurally stronger and it holds up well. You know, it has that nice little bounce to it too, more so than the real kind of frigid sterling silver, you know. So that works out good. Good. So I wanted to show you guys today about my anvil and just how I'm going to clean it up and take care of it and get some of the rust off of it. And the same with my rolling mill. I'm just going to show you guys some really nice studio tips for keeping things clean and clear. And then while I was showing you my rolling mill, I thought I'd show you a couple ways that I roll some metal through. How's that sound? So I was reading these African jewelers who maybe have 3 tools and a beautiful anvil, and you soak your hammer every night so the wood swells to fit the end of your hammer. And they actually were saying that you can tell the quality of a silversmith or goldsmith by what their anvil looks like. And some people are forging all day, and some people, you know, all of this. So you always want to make sure that you have control of your blow that you do on your metal. Especially, you know, I have a whole chapter in intentional metalsmithing, working on wire, hammering wire flat. You know, it's just always really taking care of your work that way. So I'm going to tip it over a little bit right there. There's my anvil. Look at how nicely it's covered. Is that nice? You can see there's a big mess in the background, but okay. So what I want to show you guys, I have got some, this is just like a motor oil. Look at the way it comes out of here. It's kind of dirty, but this really takes the rust off very, very nicely. So I try to keep this covered at night. I used to keep this covered with leather, but then I found the leather absorbs, it just takes away your moisture. So you actually have a little bit more trouble. So I'm gonna take these off, my scrap towels, and you can see my surface here. I cleaned it up a little bit, but you just kind of really wanna get on here and get some of this, you know, these containers, some of them you have to, so I've got like 10 different dots on here from all over the place. And then I'm going to take my towel that's just getting built with oils over and over again. And you can do these for your small bench blocks also, you know. all of my steel in here is getting pretty dirty. So small bench blocks are a good way to treat this way too, if you guys have the nomadic tool set. And then I'm just gonna kind of get in and rub this in, and this should take off a lot of my rust here, you know, just by rubbing on it. And I'll give you guys a close-up in a minute of this, in the cracks in the corner. The reason we don't want to have rust on here is that the rust is a corrosive. So, you know, as it sits here longer and longer, it's literally going to form pockets and, you know, just little dimples in the surface of your anvil. And you always want to keep this nice and safe. Now this one is dirty and it's full of oil, but you know what? That's perfect. So I'm going to lay this on here to protect it, especially in the summer. In the winter, I don't have that many worries, but now I still have it a little bit oiled, but it's laying on this cloth. You know, sometimes if I really have to, I'll get in there and scrub with a really fine sandpaper. If you know, it looks like it's kind of dire necessity that I need to get that cleaned like that. Makes sense? So, you know, all of your tools, it's like I really have a lot of cleanup that I'm going to be doing in here. My pliers, you know, I need to get them oiled. I need to get them sanded. Just a lot of work like that. You know, a lot of, just even my tweezers will have burns at the end, and, you know, you can actually hammer these out and sand them down. So don't be afraid to treat your tools like you treat, hi you guys, nice to see you. Don't be afraid to treat your tools like you treat your silversmithing projects, you know. Really, it's the same thing. It's just done out of steel. So for me, I'm in this joint studio here at the Screw Factory, and you know, there's a lot of the metal workers here, forgers. They work with steel. They've got the big kilns. They're firing things, and you know, I can just see the way that they really work the metal. Like for instance, Matt. This is some pieces that I employed Matt to do for us. This one here, where he's firing, he's turning, he's twisting. You know, just to really give me some options and versatility, and you know, places to hang things in my house that I like. So that's kind of what that is. So Connie, can you come, love? Okay, so Connie is gonna hold the phone for me while I show you guys my, oh wait. So Connie's gonna hold the phone. I want to show you 3 things though. Hang on one second. This is for the anvil, or this is for my rolling mill. And this is a print on here already. So to get prints on your metal, many times I use 3 different things. You could use nature. You know, these are actually, I purchased this way from Michael's, but this gives you a beautiful print. But you could actually go in and you can roll, you know, I'll roll this through, but you can also find these and roll leaves through with them. So that's one of the things that I do. The second thing that I do is, this is actually this is a 1 roll. So those leaves are 1-time roll. You get a 1-time roll through, so you better do it right. And this is actually from, oh my gosh, this is from Metal Designs with the Z at the end, .com. And she actually prints these out. You know, these are a 1-shot deal, but you get beautiful prints on here. And, you know, it also found objects, screens, things like this are beautiful. And another thing you could do is Potter USA. He's got, and a lot of people do, I think, Danny Wade has these beautiful plates like this that you can see. This is where this pattern came from. So I actually already annealed this piece right here. I annealed it. This is a 28K, so it's super soft. I sanded the surface a little bit, and we're gonna walk over and I'll show you my rolling. And here's Connie. Okay, good. Yeah, let me see if I got to get it. Okay. Come on over.
Yes, I can.
I really did, oh, you can't flip it?
No.
Okay. Wait, I think you can. All right, well, we don't know
Can you
how.
see?
Yeah. Hi, guys. So here's she's going to hold it this way. Here is my anvil. Oh my gosh. You can see I'm tired today, right? Okay, this is my rolling mill. I actually, because I do so much work, I ended up buying a top of the line, but for years and years and years, I just used a smaller one that was not as expensive. This one also draws wire. But I'm going to treat this the same way. You saw how I had these red towels I just bought from Home Depot. so they're not expensive. And then come on in, Connie, I'm just gonna show from here. You know, it's the same oil. I'm gonna put this oil on here, oops, and put it on my rag. And then I'm just going to, in a second, you know, and then I just really make sure this is oiled and get all the rust off of here. If I don't get all the rust off of here, and I'm gonna move it a little bit, if I don't get the rust off of here, I'm gonna be in trouble next time. So, you know, I really wanna make sure that I take care of all my tools. If I leave too much oil on here, it's not gonna be good either for, you know, just the patterns. And when I'm done, again, this is a dirty, this has the oil on it, but I can just fold it over my piece if I don't have a cover. I don't have a cover. So I try to save my money where I can. Okay, so this is a good angle, Connie. Thank you. You guys got to see Connie, the mystery person behind all of this. I'm gonna take one feather, and here's the surface, and I'm gonna decide, you know, where I wanna lay this. I love the seam of this feather, so I'm gonna fold it this way, okay? So I'll probably just fold this under and start right here. See how I'm just folding that under? Now, this is the top part here. Let me get this closed up a little bit. And the way that you determine, right, it's like this is the magic question. How much do you roll it through? So usually you roll it through loose the first time. If I roll it through like this, it's not too tight. I'm gonna get a light print, so I'm gonna just go down a little bit farther. So I backed it back out again, and I just went down a little hair more, and I'm gonna get this rolled through, pumping it all out, and it's gonna come right out this side. It feels perfect.
It's dark.
Oh, here, let's go back to my studio, then we can put it back up. Come on in here, and I'll show you guys from here. I'll put the phone back up. Bye, Connie. She helped me out there because, you know, usually I could drag things all over the place, but okay. I'll show you guys my pattern. Ta-da! I think if people, you know, if you haven't done this before, it's a nice pattern. You could also use stamping this way. I love this leaf pattern just because it's so subtle. It doesn't take over your design. You know, it's small in the background. And I love when I have metal that's just rolled and around in my studio, you know. So I wanted to be able to show the rolling mill and the anvil just for cleanup, you know, and for taking care of your things. You know, it's like as a silversmith or a goldsmith, I'm so programmed to come in and think about my jewelry and how I'm designing a piece and how I'm building a piece and all of that, you know. And it's like, who really likes taking the time for all this background stuff that we have to factor into the cost of our jewelry? So all of this really needs to be factored in, you know. So on Mondays when I come into work, I usually have a wide open day on Mondays, and I come in, water my plants. I have these beautiful ferns here, but they are messy, and I just give them a lot of water once a week. I clean my station. I sand things down. I get things oiled a little bit. I, you know, kind of make all this solder if I need to make solder. This is a hard solder. I usually like to come in and, you know, make a lot of solder, especially the medium. I use so much medium. So, yeah, it's really good to really, you know, come in and just have a day. So then my next day or that afternoon, I can start having fun, you know, thinking about what am I going to build? How am I going to build? This is one of the pieces from the new workshop, you know, that we'll be doing here in the studio. And it's a little extra add-on. I decided the surface work kind of needed to go with that collection, but I'm going to do it separately for everyone. I use sheet solder. I love sheet solder. I have been using sheet solder. I just buy a couple ounces at a time. So there's two different types of solder. One of them is a wire solder. And if I had wire solder, I just would hammer it flat and snip it into chips anyway. So what type of music do I listen to in the studio? Oh my gosh. I love, I've been listening to Swayze radio from my kids. It's a little reggae, it's a little current. It's a little fun. I like Spanish guitar. I feel like music should match the movement of your brain. So there certainly are days where I'm coming in and I'm working quickly, especially when I'm assembling, you know, where I'm working quickly, my brain is thinking quicker, and it's like I need like Swayze radio that has this gorgeous kind of reggae sound that can keep up with my brain. Oh, I'm so glad. I know Jane, Joni. Any tips for smoothing a slightly marred surface on the anvil? I actually, you know, there are ways that you can have it ground down. You know, I've thought about that with, I had a railroad tie for the longest time. I used a railroad tie, and I thought about getting it ground down. Originally, it was ground down, a railroad tie. So to smooth those out, you know, if you really want to be serious about it, you can call, like I could actually have Matt who works with steel, who would get it fired and ground and sand it. And then we would have to sand it down with sandpaper to get it finer and finer. And then you'd want to get a buff on there too. So usually we try to not get it there in the first place, you know. So I think even our bench blocks, you know, where do I have mine at here? I only use my bench block on the road. Otherwise I use my nice anvil. But, you know, it's really nice. Well, these surfaces I don't use that much. They're kind of small. But you can see this one has been sitting here too long. That surface has to be, I probably would take this, put the oil on it and see what it looks like. And then if I needed to get a little more off, I might hit it with a very fine sandpaper and put more oil on it and just keep it bundled. I'm going to start keeping my stuff bundled in the summer. You know, I used to have an interior studio, and here really I'm connected to the outdoors. So it's kind of like having my studio outdoors. You like the pits in the anvil. Yay, that's texture and character. I love that. And you're making it your own. So that's super cool. So that's wonderful. How do I run the brass plates through the rolling mill? You know what? For these plates, you would do the same thing. So if I wanted to, you know, I just would set up my metal. Of course, it'd have to be annealed. And, you know, this is nice. It didn't come through the back side. These are real deep plates. I can use this hundreds of times. But again, I want to make sure too, this one would be easy. I could just pickle it. It's copper, easy to pickle. So I would run it the same way. I just would have to open it up. You're in control of how wide your wheels are to pull this through. So, you know, I would do the same. I would probably try to cut one the same size so it doesn't, this wouldn't really hit anyway. So even if you didn't have it the same size and I ran this through, I could put a piece of paper towel in the back or wrap a paper towel around the both of them if I felt like it was going to damage my, you know, if I felt it was going to damage my rolling mill. You don't want to damage that at all. Certain brands best. Everybody tells you that this Durston, D-U-R-S-T-O-N. I ended up buying one. I had one for the longest time that was under $100. And truthfully, you guys, years ago, you know, when I had ice resin and I was a little bit in that craft world, a little bit, there were some of these machines that were around that were with these, that they ran paper through to get prints. I used one of those. I mean, they're pretty expensive anyway, but I would see them cheap. Like I would see people getting rid of them on Etsy, like a Spellbinders or a Big Shot or something like that. And I would run my metal through there. And the nice thing about that was the plates, they're specific plates, but I have never gotten so many interesting patterns because the plates were plastic. They weren't expensive. So you know, if you can pick up patterns like that too, you can roll it through your mills. So, you know, if you're just, Pepe has a good one, Rio has a good one, Pepe, Halston bead, you know, Halston, are they Halston beads? But they do metal, so those would be good ones. So it's kind of nice with things in the background, you know, or playing. You just don't want to have too much going on in your work at a time. You know what I mean? Like, there'll be enough going on with this, so. All right, you guys, it is 12:30. 8:30. It is so nice seeing you guys. Certain brands best. Okay, so I am working here in the background. I showed you guys some of the things. My jewelry sale, which I'm getting more and more and more. It's going to be so much fun. I'm putting up a lot of these beautiful, like I showed you guys here. I'm putting up a lot of these. These I did not make, but oh my gosh, why not? They're so beautiful, to be redone. But these will be on my sale also. These are right from India, and these are antiques. And these are really worn in traditional Indian culture. It's so interesting because I'm working with a friend of mine now, and in India you really wear much heavier. So I'm working just these different pieces in my place without damaging the ethnographic content. So I'm getting quite a few of those in, which I'm so excited. I just want a whole line of them myself. These tassels like that. And then, so that's going to be on the 24th, and then the jewelry sale is on the 25th. So I'm doing all like the Indian components and I'm going to have a lot more on there this time. So excited about the new Indian components that are coming in. I really love wearing them. I have one just as a pendant that I wear. So good. Okay, jewelry sale September 25th, and the component sale is the 24th. Any plans for U.S. face-to-face? The only U.S. face-to-face class I have is here in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's coming up in a couple weeks. There was 3 people that had to drop out because they got COVID. Joanna came to mind for the master's class. But so I do have a couple spaces if anyone is interested, but get a hold of me right away because I'm going to be closing the doors to this Cleveland workshop soon. It's September 17th, 18th, and 19th. And it's 3 days, and I'm doing all this new work. So this is kind of my first time I'm teaching this. This is like how I like to work out the technicalities and how people are learning it. And then the week after that, I'm going to be filming the online course. So you're welcome to come here. We're going to be working on all kinds of stuff for those 3 days. It'll be really fun. So that's the only time I have scheduled this year for an in-US. And, maybe it'll be next year in September again. So if you do want to come in person, I'd love to have you in my studio. Everything's here. I do love the nomadic tools, but I like just going and doing my own work in my own little place when I do that. So in 22, I may have another in-person workshop. So just, you can get a hold of us if you're interested. Oh, sweet, a little baby. Yeah, 2022, I'll probably be doing one in September again. I really love September, but then I'll have a year. I just popped this one up. We didn't know what was happening, with everything. So we'll see. Yay, I know, it's going to be really fun. So thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Oh my gosh, it's just really fun in the process of building and seeing you guys and seeing everybody, different people show up. So I'm so happy. Was that Mona? No, that wasn't Mona. So, all right, you guys, happy building, clear, enjoy the weather, and well, not for all of us, right? There's been a lot of crazy things going on, but thank you so much. Mwah.